Now we're going to go to something quite disturbing. It is all these questions about Bill Clinton, about, the Bill Cosby situation has been dredged up now, that he looks like, he may have been a sexual predator, and people are talking about this. People are taking him to court. There may be criminal charge. I think he got indicted criminal charges. There's all kind of discussion about Bill Clinton's behavior, his behavior around women. Aaron Klein, the head of our Jerusalem Bureau, is also one of the leading investigative reporters in this entire area. He's been breaking stories for the last several months. He now has a very, very disturbing interview with Paula Jones. Let's go to the interview. This is Aaron Klein, our chief investigative reporter, interviewing Paula Jones.
Aaron Klein here, senior investigative reporter and Jerusalem bureau chief for Breitbart, in a special interview for Breitbart News Daily. Joining me right now is the one and only Paula Jones, who famously accused President Bill Clinton of sexual assault in the 1990s. The rest is history. It led to the impeachment of a sitting president. Paula Jones, welcome to Breitbart News Daily.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you. It's actually afternoon here where I am in Tel Aviv. I want to go first to a few weeks ago. I did an interview with Juanita Broaddrick, who, of course, famously accused Bill Clinton of rape. This was in 1978 when Bill Clinton was the Attorney General of Arkansas, and he was running for governor. She says that after the alleged rape, and this is astonishing, she revealed it, that Bill Clinton stalked her basically by telephone, called her repeatedly by telephone for up to 6 months, trying to meet her again, saying that he repeatedly called her nursing home to try to get through to her. She says she believes to set up a meeting. So, you and I, Paula Jones, we were talking off the air a little while ago, and this was actually before Juanita Broaddrick made those revelations to me, and you told me actually something very similar, which is quite surprising, that after the initial encounter that you had with Bill Clinton, this was May 8th, 1991, while Clinton was the governor now of Arkansas. You were working in the state capitol building. You were a state employee of Arkansas. That he, of course, brought you up famously to the Excelsior Hotel in Little Rock, Arkansas, allegedly groped you, exposed himself to you. You rejected his advances. You said you bolted the room. So, apparently it didn't end there. You are now saying that Bill Clinton, after the initial alleged sexual assault, that he and his surrogates tried to contact you again and again and again to try to meet with you again. Tell us about that.
Okay. My regular job was to go twice a day from the Industrial Development Commission over to the governor's office and deliver mail or pick up mail. So that was in my daily routine every day, to go into the governor's office. So at one of the times after the incident happened at the hotel, I was going over to the treasurer's office to receive payroll checks to take back over to my office. And him and another state trooper, I know who it was, I just didn't want to mention his name.
Yeah, I know we're not going to mention his name. Off the air, you confirmed to me his name, and it checks out. So, so you're going, your normal routine payroll checks, and then Bill Clinton and this state trooper, who's going to become important in another story, he sees you. What happens?
Right. I was walking towards the rotunda area, because that's where the treasurer's office was, and they come walking in the front doors of the Capitol. And instead of him going the direction which I was coming from, which was because I had just been to the governor's office, actually, and was walking towards the treasurer's office, instead of him going the way to the governor's office, he goes around the front of the rotunda, because he saw me and came over to me and said that, and of course he's laughing and giggling, ha, 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 and he said, you look great. And he said he liked my outfit that I had on, and he hugged me side to side and squeezed me real hard. Our sides were touching. And he looked at the state police and he said, don't we look like Beauty and the Beast? And then, my shock, I'm just like, I didn't know what to say other than, you don't look like the Beast.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said what? It was difficult to hear. He hugs you, and he says, don't we look like Beauty and the Beast? And what did you say?
I said, well, you don't look like the Beast.
You don't look like the Beast.
I didn't know how to respond to that. Yeah. So, so that's what I said.
And then did it end there? Did it end there that day? Did he just let you go about your responsibilities, your job, or was there something more to that day?
No, not that day. Yeah, I went on ahead and went into the treasurer's office, and of course, shaken up a little bit because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there he was again. And I'm going in there every day, so I know. Very nervous that I'm going to run into him at any point in time. But that was my job.
And how long was this that you're now saying with the Beauty and the Beast comment? How long was this after the first incident in May 1991 at the Excelsior Hotel?
Maybe just a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. It was not very long at all. It was really fresh afterwards.
Okay, we're speaking with Paula Jones. Apparently, Paula, so you're saying it didn't end there. After the first encounter at the hotel, after you say the second encounter with Clinton himself, you're saying now that there's a third encounter involving a state trooper and a message from Clinton. What was that?
Well, another time, and this would have been a little bit time after, I don't know how much time after the first one. I was over there again, was in the state, went into the governor's office to give them their papers. And when I started walking back out, someone come out right behind me, so I turned and looked, and he goes, "Hey, Paula." And it was another state trooper, and it was a different one from the other time. And when you go into the governor's office, there is a double, one of the mirror glasses where they can see you, but you can't see them.
Okay.
So a state police sit there all the time to, look and see who's coming into the governor's office, as they should, to protect the governor. But so he saw me and rushed out, I guess, to catch me as I was leaving, and he caught me, and he said, "Paula," he said, "the governor wants to know if you have a regular boyfriend." I said, "Yes, I live with him. I live with my boyfriend, and we were going to get married at the time. He was actually my fiance, and we were living together at the time, and he wanted to know his name, and I told him, which I didn't feel scared. I don't guess at the time to tell him. I guess it was things were going so fast, and he said, well, Bill was wanting to know if maybe you might want to meet with him sometime because Hillary's out of town a lot on business."
Mm-hmm.
And that was the third time.
And what did you say to that when he said this to you, that Hillary's out of town? Bill wants to know if you want to meet him while she's out of town. What did you tell the state trooper?
Well, I didn't give him my phone number, and I sure didn't, I don't recall everything I said. But I told him absolutely no, I'm living with my boyfriend, and I'm not interested. What's
amazing to me is that, as you're talking about this and we hear the terms state trooper, in other words, apparently, if this is the case, the state troopers were involved in possibly procuring women for Bill Clinton, because even in the initial encounter, and this was all over the testimony of the Monica Lewinsky affair in your own case, you say that there was a state trooper waiting outside the hotel room where Bill Clinton allegedly sexually assaulted you, and that he was protecting the room. You say that when you went out, the state trooper even had a smirk on his face, like he knew exactly what Bill Clinton allegedly did inside there. So were all of these the same state troopers? Was there one? Was there two? How many were involved in your cases?
The same state trooper that took me up to the room that day is the same state trooper who followed me out of the governor's office.
Okay.
And asked me if I had a regular boyfriend. And then the one that was with Bill at the Rotunda area, it was a different state trooper altogether.
Okay, so clearly...
And what I find ironic about it is that when I first came to town back from California, when I first moved back here, and I had already heard that all of it, the news had broke and everything, and they knew who I was, and it was like the beginning of this big vast tornado, whatever you want to call it, hurricane that I got myself into.
Yeah, definitely. I would say it was one of the biggest political scandals of my lifetime, certainly. So you're saying that you saw the state trooper again after the case started and you became famous?
Before that even started.
Okay.
Before all of it even... after the initial thing that happened, but yeah, after that, before the media started hearing about, as they were starting to hear about it, I had came back from California because I lived in California at the time. And when me and my friend stopped off at a local restaurant to eat, and we looked over, and there this state trooper was that took me up to the room, that followed me out of the governor's office that day, was sitting there with his wife eating lunch. He spotted me, and I was just panicked, because all of this was going on and everything was blowing up in the media. He comes over to us, and he sat down, and he said, Paula, I am so sorry that you were dragged into all of this. Because it was because of them doing a book or something, or an article, that got it all going. And he said, but Bill told me you wouldn't do nothing anyway. See? And it's true, I didn't. But then he still tried to, you know what I'm saying, like hoping that I would still want to go do anything with him or meet him when Hillary's out of town. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he just keeps trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, but just with you, he kept trying and trying, but it's not just with you, because now we've got also the details of Juanita Broderick, who says the same thing, that after he allegedly raped her, he came back again and again and again, stalked her by phone for 6 months. Now, you're saying that you had several encounters after with Bill and his surrogates. So what to you, Paula Jones, what does this say to you about Bill Clinton, that after these alleged sexual assaults, he even tries to come back, allegedly, to the women? What does that say to you about Bill?
Well, I mean, this does not surprise me. Now, I hear all this stuff. It does not surprise me. It did at the time, of course. But no, it doesn't surprise me at all now. Nothing shocks me about what will come out about him and how he's done. He's got a problem. He really does. And I don't know if he's taking care of it or if he's gotten counseling for it or whatever, but he's got a problem, And it doesn't surprise me at all that he would be doing this to other women or any of the women. But it's almost like he says, I'm in power here, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this happen the way I want it to go. And that, to me, that's kind of like how it was. He was going to keep trying and hoping and keep trying that he could lure me, I guess, into doing what he wanted me to do with him.
Even though he told...
He picked the wrong girl that day. I promise you. If there had been another girl, this would have been a different story.
Stephen K. Bannon, Breitbart News Daily. That was Paula Jones, interviewed by one of our chief investigative reporters, Aaron Klein, who Aaron also does double duty as head of our Jerusalem Bureau. Amazing work in both regards.